right, wonderful.
You can definitely start. Yeah.
Really appreciate that. Great. My name is Ravi Ranjan. I have spent a lot of time working with startups, entrepreneurs, and various other ecosystem enablers. While I focus more on entrepreneurship, how it is important and crucial. Today, I'm talking on something little deep dive, which is marketing, and especially I have given a lot of focus on how the world is changing at a very fast pace. While COVID is one of the factors, but I'm not emphasizing too much on COVID because, as Mr. Fernandez said, COVID or no COVID, you need to have unique strategies, and that's exactly what I'm going to focus today. So I have a presentation here for all of us, so that you can get a little more deep insights. However, during the entire course of my talk, if you feel that you have any question, please use the Q&A option on your dashboard. There are two ways you can ask question. Number one, you can put down your questions on the Q&A dashboard on your Zoom platform. Write down your questions and we'll try and get these questions and answer them. You also have an option called raise hand. Towards the end of the session, if we get some time, we will be able to take some questions live. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead. Now, before I start my presentation, I would like to talk about marketing. Now we all know marketing. We have been targeted customers for so many brands. They use us to target, and now you are in the position where you are going to use the same strategy. So I'm going to start with this virtual background which I'm using today. Now, this is a very simple but very powerful example of marketing. Without saying too many things, I'm trying to market two brands here. One is AIC R&T, who's the host hosting this event, and then that's my own company. So this is how you need to do. Let's say you are going to a very large conference where you have a potential opportunity to meet various investors who would be interested. The first thing which you need to do something which is a little different from others. So while everyone else is going to come wearing a very nice suit and a shirt, can you maybe put a small emblem on your blazer which talks about your brand? Or maybe can you wear a little different color blazer so that people will be like, oh, this guy looks different. Why? Let's go and talk to them. Also, you need to come across as a person who's very, very approachable, so that when you start talking to people, people will be like, no, I don't want to talk with this guy. I'm already bored. I want to just go and have my food. So this was like a basic concept I wanted to share. And now I'm going to start my presentation. I hope you guys will like it. I have tried to put a lot of thought around it, and I'm sure this will be interesting. So marketing. This is what I'm going to talk about. You already know about me. I'll talk about some of the stories. So I think Krati was introducing me. There was some issue with the audio. I started as a journalist. So I have studied journalism. I was a radio jockey. I worked with a newspaper, worked with a TV channel. And then I figured out that I want to, be part of the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And that inspired me to go ahead and take this leap. For the last 10 plus years, I have been working with entrepreneurship ecosystem in the country, and I'm really, really proud of what I've been able to contribute. So moving on, what is marketing? I think these are the definitions which I have literally picked up from dictionary. If you look at the noun, it's an action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertisement. Verb, the product was marketed under the name aspirin. Pretty simple, right? Let's go ahead. Look at the history of advertisement and marketing. Now, marketing goes as old as 5,000 years ago. If you look at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa civilization, there were ways how people used to use marketing so that they can sell their products. They can distribute their crop, or they can distribute beautiful handcrafted product. You can still see those products at display in various museums from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa civilization. Fast forward to the era between 1450 to 1972. This is when the printed advertisement started. Look at the timeline here, pretty interesting. So magazines started as a medium of advertisement around 1730. In 1839, posters became really, really popular. Across the world, posters were being just put on the buildings. It became so popular and also so annoying that in 1839, London actually had to ban people posting posters on different properties. 1806 saw the rise of high-rise buildings in cities like New York and Chicago and Delaware. And then in 1867, the earliest recorded billboard rental is recorded. We moved to 1922, a wonderful revolution a wonderful invention, radio, was introduced to the world. This was also the time right after World War I. People were a little concerned about how can they connect with their loved ones. And that was the time when radio started, as well as advertisement on radio started. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie called Dunkirk. It's a movie by Christopher Nolan. And this movie talks about the World War II and how Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister at that point of UK, he used radio to advertise that our soldiers need help of civilians. And thousands of ships, thousands of small boats went across, various port, and they rescued UK soldiers. Very interesting. 1941, television was introduced to the world. So was the television advertisement. The first recorded use of TV ads is 1941. And then we moved to 1970, the world of telemarketing. This was also the world of hippie culture in the US. This was the world, of urbanization. And that was the time when people were annoyed with telemarketing calls in the US. We move on to the marketing. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to give you a perspective of how marketing started and how it has become so easy because there are so many tools, but also very difficult because your target audience is getting bombarded with information every single day, hundreds of times with the app notification and so many things. Look at the digital age of 1973 to 2002. This is what happened. In 1973, Dr. Lee Cooper makes the first handheld mobile phone call, and the world was never the same again. In 1981 to 1984, the first personal computers were introduced by IBM, and Apple launched Macintosh. 1985 was an explosion in print advertisement, not because the paper was just launched that time. It was because now that people had access to computers, making prints was very, very easy. 1990 to 94, 2G advancement created way for SMS messaging, and people started getting advertisement and promotions on their SMS. India was still not there. We received mobile a little later. Also, it was very expensive to use mobile phone. There was also charges for outgoing calls and incoming calls, but then things became simple. Fast forward to 1997, search marketing and SEO was introduced to the world because this was the time Google started coming up kind of very strongly. And in 1998, blogging came up. Now, blogging became a very important and very strong part where it was the influencer marketing, what we see in 2020, 1998 blogging was influencer marketing at that time. One large blog can influence companies to sell millions of dollars of products. 2003 to 2012, the age of inbound marketing. So all of that was outbound where you just go and throw information. You're not sure about the ROI. You can't calculate immediately, but then things change very fast. 2003 to 4, social media begins. LinkedIn and Facebook started. We then had very interesting, element where personalized search results by Google, and the version of Google Analytics was introduced in 2005. 2006, HubSpot and Twitter were introduced. 2007, 3G mobile advertisement started, which include picture, text, video advertisement, in-app advertisement, all of that. The world changed forever. 2008 was the year when the email marketing was at peak, and that was the time when the world started looking at how we can stop spam emails. 2012 was the time when social media and blog translated real customers and real leads. That's what started in 2012. And then we had the era of influencer marketing from 2018 to 2020. Do you know Kim Kardashian, a very famous model, she charges more than $1 million for just one post or an Instagram handle. Virat Kohli in India charges almost a similar amount. And then you have the micro influencer, people who started advertising on TikTok and started advertising on Instagram and a lot of other platforms. Today, before you go and buy a mobile phone, I'm sure you go and watch videos such as Unbox Therapy or Technical Guruji. When you're buying a new car, I'm sure you're watching, Auto Drive review or the Zoom, Zoom review. I think this is a very, very interesting example of how influencers are actually influencing brands across the world. And then this happened to the world. COVID-19. Look at that mall. It's being sanitized. People are not allowed to go inside. Millions of thousands of cars across the world not able to get, to be sold because people are not able to spend money. While we are working from home, people who are founders and people who are running companies, they started working from home, right? And then this year also marks the end of traditional marketing. If you're still doing marketing the same way it was done in 2000 or in 1990s, trust me, you are going to have a very, very difficult time. Take a minute to just think about how the world has seen so many problems in the last few months. We move on from here because we are not going to talk just about the problem, but we are actually going to talk about solution. Now, I have written marketing for a post-COVID world, not because I'm going to give you strategy, what will work in a post-COVID world, but what I'm trying to tell you that we might get a vaccine 6 months, 1 year down the line. The world might go back to what it was, but trust me, the world would never be the same the way it was. People would still be comfortable buying online. People would still be concerned about hygiene. People would still be concerned about how to stay close to their family. And no matter what are you selling, if you're a B2B seller, if you're a B2C seller, if you're a freelancer, if you're selling to government, you need to look at new strategies for your product. Before we go into the strategies, let's have a look at what are the top challenges the world is facing today. Now, one second. The first challenge, which is going to be relevant for some time now, the restricted local movement due to various government policies. India went into lockdown on 24th of March. And then after spending almost 100 days of lockdown, we are still getting various cases where states are putting lockdown again and again because cases are rising. Even when we get a vaccine, it's going to take some time before everyone in India and in the world can get vaccinated, which means that this problem is going to be there in the world for a really long time. And a lot of strategies and policies by government are going to not allow people to crowd a place the way it was earlier. Second, business travel has reduced significantly. Do you understand, when people travel various cities in India and countries outside India, so much revenue happens, not only for airlines and hotels, but for businesses as well. The third challenge is health and hygiene. How can you maintain the best quality of health and hygiene in your products which you're selling, especially if you're into a B2C segment? And the last, but a very, very relevant challenge is that customers are spending less on non-essential items. At this point of time, it's easy for you to sell an immunity booster product or a solution so that people can work from home comfortably. But if you're trying to sell very, very expensive, good to have noise cancelling headphone, people might not want to spend so much money on that. If you're trying to sell, a product which is good for you to go out on a hike or a trek, okay, it's nice, but maybe not right now. Maybe once hiking starts, that's when I can go ahead and buy this product. These are also some of the micro challenges. More and more customers are moving to e-commerce because even in small villages, there was no option for people to go and buy from their local market. So they started adopting to e-commerce. And trust me, today people in small villages in India are very, very comfortable on placing an order on a large e-commerce website. Second, while online marketing has become very accessible, you have access to all the channels, it is very, very busy. Tell me how many webinars and how many workshop invitations you get every single day. You need to be very selective in which webinar you are joining. Similarly, a customer is getting bombarded with SMS and WhatsApp and advertisement on Facebook and Instagram on buying products, which means that it's going to be expensive for you to sell your products online and also get that, mind space for the customer. Third, there are going to be a lot of job cuts. It's already there. And along with job cuts, there are going to be reduced pay at least for the next 1 year, which would impact buying behavior. You would not see the same buying pattern the way people used to buy during Diwali or Valentine's Day or Christmas or New Year. You would see the behavior is changing. And the most important thing, are you still using the old marketing method? If you are, then none of these challenges are as big as this challenge. You need to adapt and you need to change your marketing methods. Okay, we spoke a lot about the challenges. We spoke a lot about problems. Let's look at what approach businesses can take today to actually not only firefight, but actually survive. So these are the 6 steps which I have written down for you. I'm sure you understand your product and your business better. Also, it's not a playbook, which means that you cannot follow it step by step, but you need to customize as per your requirement. The first thing, firefighting. I'm sure we are already past this phase. Firefighting phase was from March end till May, when things were kind of forced onto us. We were not ready for lockdown. Millions of people were trapped in various cities where they did not have access to food. They could not travel. Logistics was hit very, very badly because movement of commercial trucks were also not very, frequent. Now we are in the stabilizing mode. In the stabilizing mode, you need to look at 2 aspects. Number 1, you need to focus on how you can create awareness. If you are a B2C seller, let's say you have a restaurant or you have a shop where people need to come and buy something. You need to send out a message to all your potential customers that, look, we are taking care of the store. We maintain 100% hygiene. We are using all the sanitization process which is required and mandated by government, and not only mandated by government, we take the ownership to make sure that your experience is completely safe. Tell your customers about it. Send them an SMS, send them a WhatsApp message, shoot a video, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook. Give people this assurance that they can come and buy from your platform. Third, adapt. If you have been selling offline only, or you are selling in a hybrid way where 30% of your sales are online, 70% is offline, and you are not able to get customers to come down to your store, you cannot wait for situation to go back to normal, because we don't know when the normal would come back. So you need to adapt to the new normal. Put down a very, very strong SOP, a standard operating procedure on how your employees and your staff will maintain hygiene. But you have to also look at the new ways through which you can market your product. I'll give you some examples here. Kellogg's, very famous for their breakfast items such as muesli and cornflakes. What they did is that while they knew that people would be still buying cornflakes and muesli, they also started a very nice campaign called 21 Days of Fitness, where they went on and did a campaign on how you can make very, very healthy and very, very safe breakfast items for your family because you're all staying home. Amul has always been known as an advertisement and a creative genius. What Amul did is that they started doing a 5 p.m. live broadcast from their Facebook page, where they bring one celebrity chef, and the chef is making a very nice dish using one of the Amul ingredient every single day. Similarly, brands across the world adapted to new normal, because you cannot wait for the world to go back to the way it was. I know it's very hard, but this is the reality. Next one, informative. You need to be able to send very, very important and very relevant information at the right amount of time. For example, let's say you are selling something on your website, you have an e-commerce solution. A customer is buying something on your website. And suddenly at the last minute, the customer was not able to make payment. His payment failed and the customer did not come back. If you have a system in place, you would be able to track that particular customer transaction and send an immediate email, WhatsApp or SMS saying that looks like you could not finish checkout. Do you need some help? Click on this link or let us know if you want us to call back. A lot of brands are using it, and trust me, it increased the chances of you converting that particular failed transaction into a successful conversion. The next strategy as part of this plan would be bounce back. What do you need to do in the bounce back strategy? Once the lockdown is going to get lifted from across all the states in India, once people start going out in market more freely, there is going to be an impulsive buying. People are going to go crazy and buy clothing and shoes and food and every single thing. It has already happened in China. It was called revenge shopping. I don't think India is going to see revenge shopping, but India is definitely going to see compulsive buying. So the first part of your bounce back strategy should be you need to have enough stock of your inventory. If you're selling food items, if you're selling clothing, if you're selling social media services, make sure you have enough resources available to supply to this sudden raise of demand. And the last part of this strategy would be thriving. What do we mean by thriving? Once we have a vaccine and once things start looking normal, that is when you need to thrive. And how can you thrive in the new world? By adapting to the new normal of marketing, by adapting to the new strategy of marketing. That is how you can adapt, and that is how you can thrive. I have put down 2 more slides to talk about what are the 2 very, very important steps through which you can achieve all of this. I'm sure you are doing most of it, but again, just trying to re-emphasize onto this. Number 1, move from website. You need a sophisticated website. What does it mean? It means that your website should be minimal. It should not be cluttered. It should have important keywords placed on it, which means that your website should be optimized with relevant keywords. It should be friendly with SEO. Search engine optimized websites are the best one. They are the ones which show on page 1 of Google search. Very important that you have your website mobile friendly, because as a policy, Google would not rank your page higher if your website is not mobile friendly. Very important. Have a full stack integrated payment gateway. What does it mean? I'm sure if you're selling something online, you have a payment gateway where people can buy from, by using their debit card, credit card, net banking. But also put options where they can buy from UPI, where they can pay by pay later. Companies such as LazyPay, Simple, ePay Later, they are using pay later option. Integrate Amazon Pay, integrate Freecharge, integrate cash on delivery, integrate part payment on online confirmation, part on cash on delivery. So let's say you have an item which is 20,000 rupees. Make sure you get 2,000 rupees as an advance payment for booking if it's a high value product, and then rest you can collect as cash on delivery. People will be very comfortable. Next one, you need to use some old but very, very trusted tools of marketing. Email marketing works really well if you have a good curated set of database. SMS marketing, again, works really, really well. WhatsApp marketing, it has been a new phenomena, but it has been very successful. Blogs, they are old, but still it helps a lot. Trust me, if you have a good blogger, you can actually, kind of get like a lot of support from here. Also, I want to talk about newsletter. How many of you have newsletters on your website? How many people actually love your newsletter? Right before this webinar was about to start, I got a newsletter from Swiggy, and they listed down very interesting way how people placed order on Swiggy in the last 2 months. Do you know more than 5.5 lakh orders of biryani was placed in the month of July. They also put some very interesting information. It was so nice that I forwarded that newsletter to my co-founder. Are you making some really important, perfect, powerful content? Use CRM. Use employee resource planning if you have a large company. Integrate feedback mechanisms such as web engage on your platform so that you can collect immediate feedback from customers. After doing all of this, then you need to start focusing on social media. So for a lot of you, I'm sure people confuse that digital marketing is going on Facebook and putting a post. Not really. Digital marketing include all of these 3 points, and then you have social marketing, which is completely different. So you have social media, you have then influencer marketing, and now it's a very interesting thing which has started in China, and this is a new opportunity for India, live stream sales. Do a small Google search and you'll see that people in China and Taiwan and Malaysia and Vietnam have been selling millions of dollars of products every single month by going online on various, on various platforms where they go live and they sell products. Trust me, very new to India. See if you can try it. Also, use the new age digital sales channel. I'll talk about them in the next slide. This brings me to the second last slide of my presentation. I'm trying to list down some of the basic and very important strategies and tools which will help you for your marketing in a new world. Let's start with B2C. You can look at these platforms such as Meesho, where you have a more personalized buying and selling experience. You can look at Glow Road, which gives you a power to use WhatsApp advertisement and WhatsApp marketing. Pinterest is very powerful and untapped. It's not used extensively by Indian businesses, but it's very, very powerful. Facebook is very cluttered, very crowded, but if you know how to use Facebook algorithm for your good strategy, I think there's still a lot of potential left for Facebook advertisement. Instagram has become very powerful, but it's very tricky to understand the algorithm. But if you can understand, it's a very, very powerful tool and it gives you very high conversion rate. Influencer marketing is just starting in India. It's going to be a long way and long road ahead for influencer marketing. So as early as you start, it's going to be as powerful for your brand. Next one, B2B. If you are a business which sell to another business, a B2B company, look at these methods. LinkedIn becomes a very powerful way of selling to businesses online. Email is still going to give you more than 70% of your sales. You should know how to write good emails. Affiliate partners, it works really well. You can have various partners who are already working with large companies. So let's say you have an affiliate partner who is into website development and you are a company who has social media marketing. This affiliate partner can recommend you to all their existing and new clients, and you can get a very strong sales funnel immediately through these affiliate partners. Conference and trade shows. These are very old, but very, very tested method. Obviously, there are not enough physical events going to happen for the next 2 months, but all these trade shows are now virtual. Look for them. You might actually get a slot in one of these trade shows at a very discounted pricing. Organic search, it beats everything. If you know how to do organic SEO for your website, you are there. If it doesn't work for you, you always have an option to go back to the paid search. Search and pay per click. These are very old and very tested method. And last but very important is referral. If you have successful clients, if you have satisfied client, if you have happy clients, they will refer you to their new friends and family without you asking them, if you have very good customer service. The next and the last strategy is if you're selling to government, B2G and any other kind of sale which you might have to make. Number one, media mentions. The higher the number of media articles are about you, the higher your chances are to get a contract from a government initiative. Because when governments start looking at problems to be solved, they first look at local companies which are mentioned in newspapers and other blogs and platforms. Number two, try and be part of a government supported event. Number three, try and look at being part of a government supported incubator or accelerator program, because you would get a chance to be referred for a government project. For example, Government of Kerala has given a special subsidy to all the startups who are registered in Kerala state. They can bid for a large contract without having to fulfill the criteria compared to a traditional business. You can also get in touch with government liaison consultant. These consultants are expert and they know how to work with government. Word of mouth work really well in government. If one of the government official or an IAS officer or a secretary refer you, trust me, your chances of getting that contract becomes very high. And again, referral becomes very, very powerful here as well. All right, now as a small gift from me, today I'm very glad to offer you, some very, very powerful offers from these companies. HubSpot, which will give you 90% discount on your CRM requirement. Razorpay will give you 6 months of free payment gateway without any charges. ICICI Bank will give you a lifetime free current account. Offin will give you a very powerful, payroll software at a discounted price. Segment will give you free credit for a lot of solutions. Carbon will give you a free credit card for your company and your employees. And Open Neo Bank will give you a very smart banking and accounting solution. That is my contact details. That's my handle on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's Ravi Ranjan. And I'm gonna stop my presentation here. So I tried to talk about very quickly about marketing. I think now is the time when we can take some questions, and feel free to put your questions, because we would like to keep it more interactive and see how we can kind of contribute in your journey and your growth. Thank you.
Sure, Ravi. Thanks a lot, Ravi. So already a few questions have come. Krati, can you see the questions in the Q&A section and put those questions to Ravi?
Okay, so the very first question we have is from Nikhil. He's asking that we are into social entrepreneurship, dharmshala.in, which mode of marketing would be more effective and better in terms of ROI, outbound or inbound marketing?
That's a very good question, Nikhil. I think for a company like you, you should definitely look at creating a lot of blogs, because you are going to target a very special and specific niche segment. People who are going to come to your platform. So start with a blog, then have a loyal base of newsletter subscribers, so that you can give them updates every single month. I would also recommend that try and become a barter partner, where you don't need to spend a lot of money, but look at social events which are happening, where people are trying to talk about, I'm not sure what dharmshala.in, I assume this would be something around, let me just have a look on your website. Oh, first of all, your website is very slow. You need to work on your website optimization. It's taking so much time for load, so you might want to contact your tech team. I really love the way you have used Hindi as well. The vernacular touch on your website is nice. Oh, that's very nice. You are trying to put famous dharamshala across religious places. So people who are going for religious tourism, they can go and get dharamshalas. I think this is pretty interesting. What I would recommend, you need to look at affiliate partnership model. This will work very well for you. There was a startup called Online Prasad. They were selling online prasad from various temples across the country. I would recommend another company to you called Kalpanik. A friend of mine, John Kuruvilla, has started this company where they have started a live broadcast of prayers from the top churches and mosques and temple across the world. You can do a partnership with them, where on their platform, they can say that, we know you love watching the live telecast from Tirupati Balaji. How about next time when you visit, you can get a 50% discount or a 20% discount from our partner dharamshala.in. I think this is going to work very powerful for you. Also, try and get advertisement slot or a banner ad on various websites of government, sorry, or on the religious website. So for example, Mata Vaishno Devi Trust has a website. Similarly, big temples across the country have a website. Try and see if you can get a banner ad through a partnership on these platforms. I think these things might be very interesting, very low cost and very high in terms of ROI. I have a next question from Mr. Arjit Divedi. He's saying that demand is reducing day by day because of joblessness and reduction of salary. Then how come any strategy of marketing would work? Mr. Divedi, very interesting question, but I would not agree completely with your comment. If you are a business who is selling something which people require, and even if you're not selling something required, let's say, I don't know if you're online, Mr. Divedi, but what would you say? Would you say hotel where you go and stay, is it an essential or non-essential service? If you can just put in the chat box, that'll be very helpful. Mr. Divedi, I'll wait for 30 seconds to just look at your response. If you can say if hotel you consider essential or non-essential. Okay, looks like Mr. Divedi might not be online. And anyways, to answer that question, I'll give you an example of a company called Fab Hotel. When lockdown started in India, the biggest hit was taken by hotel and airline industry, where people are not traveling, which means they're not going to stay in hotel. Fab Hotel, what they did very quickly, they started advertising and partnering with large businesses, and they started giving out highly sanitized workplace as well as a stay solution. So MNCs were then offering rooms to their employees. Let's say if they're in Bombay or Bangalore, any other city, you can go and work from a Fab Hotel and you can stay there because you don't want to go back to your home because sanitization is a concern. Fab Hotel was able to achieve more than 70% target for their monthly sales. Also, they partnered with a lot of state government and they started renting out sanitized rooms to doctors and caregivers in various states. And Fab Hotel was able to take this opportunity and change this challenge into a new revenue stream. Similarly, if you look at companies like Zoom, before COVID, Zoom had 10 million active users. Today, Zoom has close to 350 million active users because Zoom is a solution which is actually empowering, digital work. Let's not take example of Zoom because Zoom got lucky. Zoom lockdown is like a Paytm monetization, demonetization moment for Zoom. But look at other companies which are into digital transformation, companies which are into payment gateway, companies like Swiggy, which empower businesses through their new protocol Genie, where you don't need to be a partner with Swiggy and you can still sell your products through Genie. These are some very interesting examples of how you can pivot and you can actually use this challenge in terms of an opportunity. Trust me, while people would not be buying non-essential for some time, but non-essential buying has already started. OnePlus launched their new phone. It went sold out in less than 30 seconds. Every single Wednesday, MI holds a flash sale for their mobile phone and it gets sold out in 3 seconds. People are still spending money online. You need to be there. You need to be there and you need to be visible. Next question is from Timothy Malche. How can a brand connect with how people are feeling and experiencing during COVID-19? Very interesting question. If you see, a lot of brands are already using this particular challenge to send very powerful messages. Can you create a video covering story of a doctor who has been working in the field for the last 4 months? Very simple. Just ask this doctor to record 30 seconds, 40 seconds video clips for the 5 to 6 days, put together everything, and then put your brand logo and spray that message on your Facebook. Say, we thank all the doctors who are supporting us. And then you can say, this is a small token of appreciation from our community to thank all the doctors. Very powerful, very emotional. People connect with it very, very soon. Next question is, sir, you suggested all the sources for marketing, but how startups start their marketing from zero? And what about funds? It's really becoming a hurdle. Yes, sometime, but not every time. Most of the products, most of the segment which I spoke about, these are free. You do not need to spend marketing money onto any of the platform. LinkedIn. Have you been recording a video every single day and talking to your customers? I'm sure the answer is no. And that is the reason you are not able to reach out. Start from today, record a video, talk about your industry. Don't just sell your product. First of all, you need to understand there's a huge difference in sales and marketing. Marketing is about talking about yourself, talking about your employees, talking about your customer, talking about your industry, and then talking about your product. If I go out and just keep talking about my product, people are going to get fed up with me. Talk about how your industry is seeing change. Talk about how your product is trying to solve a big problem. See how customers will start adapting to you. Use organic SEO, use organic Facebook reach, use organic viral videos. There are so many brands. One of the brands is Exigo use very low cost videos, and their videos are viral. Almost every single video went viral on their platform. Look at those interesting videos. See how you can use them. Next one. Akash has a question. We have affiliate partnership program for our service. We have strategically approached 250 plus social media influencers, and only 2 have come on board. Problems are faced following. Medium, less than 100,000 subscribers, and big social media influencer don't entertain us, being small company. Small social media influencers charge upfront money, unable to identify average percentage of commission, unable to identify better way to contact social media influencers except cold email. If possible, provide more information. I think I have a perfect solution for you, Akash. So one of my clients is called Venture Catalyst. I work with Venture Catalyst, which is one of the largest angel network in the investment network in the country, 7th largest in the world. There's a platform where we are investing. It's called IRIDA, IRIDA. On IRIDA, you can find thousands of influencers, and you can look at their cost. You can look at their past project. You can have a conversation with them, and you can exactly come on a conclusion on how you want to start a strategy, start a campaign with them. I think that's going to help you a lot. Also, I would recommend you to not only focus on social media influencers. When you're saying affiliate partnership, look at following options as well. So recently I have also, so my company is now working with Amazon Launchpad as well as delivery. So Amazon has a program called Launchpad where they showcase new products on their platform. If you are selling any product, you can get in touch with me and I can help you get listed on Amazon Launchpad platform if you get selected. Delivery, which is a very large logistics startup, they are looking to invest in various companies which are trying to solve logistics and supply chain problem. Again, if you're working in that segment, let me know and I'll be more than happy to connect you with them. I hope that answers your question, Akash. The next question is from Akshay Kathuria. We are revamping our website. What should be the type of marketing we should follow till it is getting revamped, and what to follow when it is actually fully functional? We are a 3rd generation e-commerce company. I think, Akshay, the first thing which I would recommend is that look at creating a very minimal website where people can just click 2 or 3 times and they can reach to the product or to the sales funnel. Number 2, you also need to look at WhatsApp marketing, which you can use to connect to your customer. You can also use Facebook marketing, and on your current website you can put down an option so that people can submit their queries if they have any immediate queries. You can put a Google link there, Google form link, or you can just ask them to call you up on a number. One thing which I missed putting in my presentation is IVR. There are companies like Exotel and similar, which are very powerful. So if you take an Exotel IVR platform, customers would be able to get a lot of information just on their IVR. They don't even need to contact your customer service team, and that becomes powerful. Similarly, do you know that Swiggy use more than 90% customer service through their chatbot? So most of the time when you're talking to a Swiggy customer support, it's not a real person, you're talking to a chat bot. But they have optimized in such a powerful way that you don't really need to speak to a real person. That is what a very interesting example as well. Yeah, wonderful. I think we covered all the questions.
Yeah, so we had received few offline questions. Most of them actually was answered in this Q&A section only. So one I feel which is a little different is one startup is asking, they are a product-based startup, and they were actually selling the product where they were giving practical demos to the client, look and feel of the product they were giving. So now in this COVID era, how can they actually market their product? Because online selling, through online selling, a lot of return is happening, because earlier customers were getting the feel of the product. Now they buy it and then they feel it's not fit for the requirement. So how they can tackle this situation?
Sure, that's a very nice question. And I think there are two-part answer to that. Number one, I'll give you an example of a company. 2 days ago, on 21st of July, OnePlus launched their new phone called OnePlus Nord. Now, typically mobile companies host very large offline events where they invite media, influencers, celebrities to come and look at these phones which they're launching. Obviously they cannot do that into the offline, into the lockdown scenario. Also, the typical launch where you just put the website that, okay, we have a new product and customers can go buy, it's not really exciting. So you know what they did? Very interesting. OnePlus launched world's first augmented reality launch for their OnePlus Nord. So there were two options. Number one, you can download a OnePlus Nord AR app on your mobile phone, and you can actually experience the live launch on your dashboard. Like you can use your phone and just see the live launch. Or the second option was they partnered with Unbox Therapy, which is one of the most popular channel in the world for mobile review. And Unbox Therapy founder was doing a live unveiling of OnePlus Nord. They got millions of hits for that particular launch. Now, I'm sure you cannot afford that kind of budget. What you can do is that you should definitely try live streaming of your product. Go and just do a search. In China and Taiwan, people have been selling millions of dollars of products every single week by online live streaming. If that also does not work for you, what I would recommend, create two-step process. Number one, record a video covering the exact functionality of your product with a nice black backdrop, or you can use a white backdrop. Make sure it's very neat and clean. Use a nice video. You don't need a videographer. Use a high quality mobile phone. Record in 4K and upload it on your channels. Also, you can send that video link to all their potential customer. However, let's say if your customer is still not satisfied, ask your customer to pay for the product. Give them a 30 days, no question asked refund. Send the product to them. Let them touch and feel and experience. I'm sure 90% of them will keep the product. 10% return will come. You'll send the money back to them. It's all right. Keep that like a demo product. Companies like Sunday Mattress and Wakefit, they're giving 100 days return policy on mattress on which people sleep every single day. Still, they are so confident about their product that they're giving a 100-night guarantee, and they will return the product without asking a question. One last thing which I want to talk about all of you is personal branding. It's very, very important. I think it's most important thing. I'll give you my example. All right. So I come from a very small village in Jharkhand, so small that it doesn't even come out on map. When I was growing up, my village was the highest Naxal affected area in the country. I grew up with violence and terror and all the bad things every single day. I studied from a government school. We did not even have basic infrastructure. I could not speak even a word of English till I graduated. Not even a word. I could not say my name is Ravi Ranjan. But then I figured out that in the industry where I'm going to go and work, which is startup and entrepreneurship and influencers and celebrities and government, I need to be speaking properly. I had never ever spoken to a large gathering till I graduated from my school and my college, right? I was an introvert. But then I realized that I need to overcome this challenge from Coming to a small village where there was no infrastructure. I grew up when there was no internet, there was no computer, right? And today I have trained around 1.6 lakh students and aspiring entrepreneurs across the country. I have trained more than 6,000 teachers on entrepreneurship. I have worked with some of the biggest companies in the world. In 2016, I was selected by the government of US as an emerging leader for their program called IVLP. People like Narendra Modi and Atal Bihari Vajpayee are selected. Every year they select 20 people. I was selected in 2016. Today, I work with some of the biggest companies. I left my job at NASSCOM. I run my own company, which is in the background. You see, starting up with Ravi Ranjan, that one, this one. Today, my company is based on my name. When I started, people were like, are you crazy? Why you are starting a company on your own name? Today, I showed you those affiliate partners. They came to me saying that, Ravi, can you help us sell our product? These are some of the biggest companies. And apart from those, I have 30 more partners who are affiliate partner with me. Why all of this happened? Because I was able to establish myself as an entrepreneurship evangelist. It's a very new word. Evangelists are basically people who spread something. So typically, there are people who are religious evangelists. I believe in entrepreneurship, and that's why I call myself an entrepreneurship evangelist. If you go online and search about me, you'll find various links which will give you a reassurance that this person is genuine. I can go and work with him. When you go on LinkedIn, when you go on Facebook, you can see me there. Similarly, you need to work on your brand and yourself as a brand because you are the face of your company. How many of you know how many products Tata sell? But you all know Ratan Tata. How many of you know what kind of work Your Story does? But you all know Shraddha Sharma. How many of you know about what all businesses SpaceX and Tesla into? But we all love listening to Elon Musk's story. So trust me, an individual story is always powerful than a company story. So start building these stories today. And trust me, a person like me with access to nothing, if I can achieve a little bit, I'm still far from being a very successful person, but if I can achieve so much, I'm sure all of you who are so tech savvy, have access to technology, have been incubated at AIC RNTU, have access to the best of the mentor. I'm sure you can do at least 1,000 times better than me. If you do 999, I will not be impressed. If you do 1,000 plus, then I will be impressed. I think that is something which I would leave all of you with. Very, very glad to be here. And you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. You can get in touch with me on Facebook. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ronald Fernandez, Anurag, and the entire AIC RNTU team for inviting me and getting me this opportunity to talk. Very excited. I'm sure once things go back to normal, I'll come down and meet all of you guys on the campus. Over to you, Mr. Fernandez.
Thanks a lot, Ravi. I mean, it was a really inspirational story of yours, I mean, which you shared at the last, and your presentation also. I'm sure it's going to help our startups in framing their marketing strategy. So thanks a lot, and thanks to everybody who took out time and attended this session. So I would, in last, say, stay safe, stay indoor, move out as in emergency cases only. So thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great time. And I'm sure you don't need to focus on everything which I mentioned, but focus on things which are very crucial. Also, once you start experimenting, you'll understand which channels are working well for you. If you still have any doubt, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to connect you. And also for the gift which I mentioned, if you want to avail any of them, just ping me on LinkedIn and I'll be glad to connect you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ravi.
Thank you so much.